Hello, everyone. We're back, I think. I think everything's working, firing. Nope, looks like a lot of things are still muted. Nope, you can hear me fine. That's good. And maybe hear everyone else fine, too, I think. So that's what matters. Hi, hello, welcome back. It's Wednesday. I almost said it's Orphaned Honor. Not anymore. So we're so glad to have you back. After a week of recuperation and rest, and now that we've gotten closer and closer till this time has happened again, a little bit more anxiety. Just a little bit, though, for me this week. I can't speak for anyone else, but mine is drastically reduced. Thank you for the subcrack.
Stress is never gone from my life, but
fair. That's fair, Ben.
But I'm excited to play.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully the game doesn't cause, more unnecessary stress. Just like the good stress, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fun kind.
Yeah, the one where I kill your family. I mean...
that level 0 stress of being helpless.
No, Dyer, you can't kill the players. You have to kill the characters. I've been over this.
I try not to have those thoughts, but they sneak in sometimes.
I miss Jim.
We don't talk about Jim. Anyway, since that lull went on for way too long, we're professionals, I swear. But we're not actually. That's a common misconception. But I pretend like I am, at least. So
you're the professional. You're getting paid. The rest of us are here for fun.
Am I? I guess technically I did just make like $3. So I mean that's kind of neat. But we're not going to talk about that. You won't get a cent from me. So session 2, Reclamation. That's what's happening this week. Does somebody want to just give a short recap as to what happened last time we played?
I volunteer as tribute.
Please.
Well. Last time, our first session, we got to meet all the characters.
Oh, they were so great.
Finally! We got to meet Corona, Lilith, Melody, Roswin, and Titan. And 4 of us got to go to the tavern and boast and drink and have fun. And that's not where the action started. The action starts on the east wall with Corona getting jumped by a metal spider facehugger. A red alert going up, and every single one of us ignoring the order to shelter in place, running to be with our friends, family, and loved ones, and winding up completely split up on opposite sides of town. While the power has been shut out by a magical EMP, we are surrounded, for all we know, on all sides by automatons trying to kill us. Bryn Rasa has hopped over the wall to deal with something none of us have seen, but that is probably capable of blowing down the front door. And every single one of us on our own has realized we have to abandon our hometown. There is no hope of fighting this back.
Yeah, pretty good. This is where I'd normally go. Here's inspiration for you, but that's not yet. You guys aren't that cool yet.
Damn, I did 2 separate recaps and no inspiration. I'm not getting paid.
No.
I'm not getting inspiration.
It's slave labor here. I'm sorry. It's in the contract.
Picking on the new kid.
Does anybody else have anything they feel like is important or worthwhile to add?
Nope, that was great.
That was succinct, yeah.
Okay.
Rowan's going to be a problem. But that's all I have to add.
She's a younger sister.
That is...
Fair. You know, that
And
feels...
apparently my dad had a hand cannon. That was cool.
No, hand cannon is way too small. It was larger than he was. I know
was
he's
an actual cannon.
I know he's a gnome, but it's still bigger than he is. So, you know, it's like 5 feet or so, like long, about as wide as he is. You know, it's a cannon. It's a literal, it could be like almost like a short-barreled ship cannon.
Oh, if that thing has any recoil, I think your dad's not going to make it.
He's spending a bit of time fastening it to the house.
That's good. Otherwise, he'd fire it in whatever direction, and he'd either wind up completely in the air or through some sort of wall.
Yeah, that would be a problem. But, all right. If that's all, we really have no reason to beat around the bush any longer since I already started a little bit later than I wanted to. We should just kind of get right back into the game. And also, as a quick favor to me, any of you that are watching, if there's things about like the audio or something visual that's weird or happening, or like if someone's too quiet, let me know. I'm adjusting things from my end, and I will happily do that to fix it so everyone can be heard and, you know, experience. So thank you. Okay, so we settle back into the village of Greenwood, besieged by an unknown but mechanical threat. The party has split into several different groups, as you know they are often wont to do. And I think it just feels really appropriate since it was mentioned last and is maybe the most memorable little stick in the whole situation. We're going to start with Roz.
Oh,
Yeah. I hope that's okay.
that's wonderful, because
Yeah.
I know exactly what I need to do.
Okay, so we're going to go on over to Roswyn, who's in her home after having seen her grandfather and her little brother outside, and the other Shalseer guardsman, Rorkin, just jump into a melee fracas with a bunch of the mechanical little face huggers, which I really hate. Now that like, I knew that's what they were going to evoke, but you have no idea how much I hate that creature in terms of visual aesthetics and things. So yeah, it's great.
You've done this to yourself.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, Roz.
Okay, well, Rowan's not coming out
No,
because she has a door.
she
And
yeah,
she can lock it.
and she locked it. Yeah,
So I'm going into my room.
which is the room you're used to, Roz. You know where your axe is, but you do see lying on your bed something in the shape of a sword wrapped in a red cloth.
Mm.
And if you, for the record, if you click on your axe, it will add it to your inventory.
But I can't just not take the sword.
Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, you know, it's there. You now have 3 copies of your axe.
I don't need that many. Can I do the same thing with the sword?
If you click on it, it should give you an item. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it didn't give you the appropriate
Oh.
item. Oh, I'll just fix that. I was trying to do some cool fancy things, but
Well, the axe is very fancy. I just don't know what I'm doing.
yeah. So both of these are unique items in that, Roz, your axe is yours. It is a D6 weapon, versatile D8. And it deals double damage to wooden objects and trees.
Well, that's gonna come up.
Do you just grab the clearly wrapped sword on your bed and just sort of like sling it through a belt loop, or do you actually unwrap it?
I think it's too tempting. I think Roz sees it there, knows what it is, remembers the conversation from earlier, briefly forgets she's in mortal danger, and unwraps the sword.
Okay. You pull one of the ends of the gold twine that's holding the whole thing together. It sort of uncoils rapidly, and the red cloth falls away. And underneath is this beautifully honed, double-edged longsword with a blade that runs into a crossguard that has a fanged skull at its center. With a pair of the crossguard that sort of dips up into points to catch blades. It is beautiful. Make a history check for me.
Oh.
Let's see if you know anything.
Probably not. 7.
No idea. Super cool sword, though.
Sick. Well, I have things to juggle now. Problem. Well, I'm not letting go of the sword. And I'm not letting go of the axe.
What do I do with all these weapons?
Everything else gets dropped. I don't need them.
Fair. So you're gonna throw, like, the spear and the short sword, like, just in your room?
Yeah.
You know where they are if you need them.
I don't think I'm coming back for a spear and a short sword. So that gets me to Rowan's bedroom again.
It does.
We're just gonna gently lean that sword up against the wall. And we're gonna start cracking through the door.
Sure, make an attack roll.
13?
13 is sufficient to hit the door, yeah. Roll a d8 for me, plus your strength mod, and then we'll double the damage.
D8 plus strength mod, 5.
Pretty good. 10 to, yep. Okay, 12 points of damage. You take just a hefty chunk out of the door. So much so that it's enough of a gap for you to be able to see into the room. Do you take a gander inside with the torch, or are you just going to keep hacking?
I think I'm gonna look inside real quick.
Make a perception check. 'Cause like I said,
Okay.
there's not a ton of light inside the room.
No, 6.
The only thing you see inside the room is a small flickering candle on this desk over here. But no sign of your sister.
Oh, well, that's not gonna stop me at all.
Swing away.
Listen, Rowan, I respect your privacy and all, but now we don't have time for this. That's 15?
Yeah, roll damage.
7.
Oh, yeah. This is what you do every day. You know how to take down a tree. A door is nothing to you. After 2 swings, you absolutely demolish this door, putting a boot to it, wedging your axe out, and just 3/4 of it just crumbles into splinters and shards at your feet. You could step through the portal now easily.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
Nothing? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Rowan?
You don't see your sister.
Rowan! You under the fucking bed?
Make another perception check.
I mean, my crap perception. 13.
I mean, you obviously don't see your sister or any signs of your sister, but you know she was in here. She locked the door on you, like, less than 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
and you can see that there's now that you've had a moment to sort of sit there, you observe the room quickly. You see that your sister's not bodily standing there. You do see that there is on this desk over here a smattering of things that look like several different like alchemical ingredients, and there is the carcass of a squirrel that has been dissected. There's a bloody knife stuck into the top of the desk. And there's a small pot in which is now a small smoking, cindering pile of wood. And this small, like, cooking pot, quite small, that is now, it's got a bunch of remnants in it, but is now completely empty. And as you're kind of taking that in, and you're about to start to go kneel to check under the bed, you hear footsteps leave the room in a hurry. But you don't see anything.
Oh, for fuck's sake, are you smarter than me too? Did you learn how to make a potion? Are you invisible? You better stay invisible or I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kick your ass.
Make another perception check.
I'm never gonna find her. 11.
You turn the corner into the living room where the fire is still crackling away. You stop and you listen. You hear just the fire, and you hear the constant kerfuffle outside of Rourke and thrashing these automatons, but you don't hear anything else.
I simply have to assume that my sister is smart enough to have gotten herself out of here somehow. So I guess I'm going to leave.
I dare assume that you grabbed the sword on your way past?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, because if I find Rowan, I'm gonna hit her with it. No, not really.
It does have a sheath for what it's worth,
Yeah. We're not gonna be using that sheath right now.
That's fair. As you make it back outside, Braun and Rory are still waiting for you. And you see to the south, Rourken, now having waded his way back out of the taller grass, again for his halfling self, is up to his waist. He is you just see small little crackling blue discharges from a bunch of broken, busted hunks of bronze. And he's walking out dragging one behind him, and he just sort of lets go of the leg. He's cut and bleeding in various small places. They're all very small, very superficial. But he's just sort of trudging out around on the same time you exit. You got everyone in your family?
Everyone's out. I think Rowan's out. I didn't see her. We're good to go.
He nods a few times. All right. The evacuation plans to go down south, yeah?
Well, that's right, but I can help if you need. I've got... She kind of brandishes the sword just a little bit in the torchlight. I have a weapon. I can help.
Yeah, I see you found it. Honestly, this isn't how I wanted you to use it for the first time. Right as he sits there for a brief moment, deciding as to what to tell you to do, in the north, something all of you will see, this huge eruption of orange-red light that it looks like an enormous fire has ignited the entire front of the village. It is constant, it is flickering, and it is, when you look, a huge wall of fire, about 20 feet tall. Working has a moment where he's looking to the distance and he considers, and you see him pause longer than he probably should given his status and his training, and he looks back. I have to go to the front gate. That's my partner. Listen, Roz, I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I think is best, which is you should take your grandfather and your little brother, and you should leave. What you do after that, that's up to you.
Okay, I'll consider your advice and then make a decision. Oh,
Well, twins' blessings with you. Hopefully we'll see you again. And he just turns and he just hauls. He just begins running towards the south, the north. All right, Roz, what are we doing?
well, you two are getting out of here. And I think Rowan's gonna follow you out. I'm not positive of that.
All right. Head south then.
I will find you. I promise.
Braun walks up to you, puts a hand on your shoulder, and he gives you a look with those tired blue eyes. And you see like he has something he wants to say, but then you can just tell he just elects to not. And instead he gives you a quick hug and then turns and grabs Rory by the shoulders and starts leading him south.
Okay.
These are Roz, what direction are you going to start heading in?
The last time Roz heard a scream was to the northwest of where she is now.
Mm-hmm.
So
There are several family homes to the north of yours.
most people are sheltering in place. I guess. Oh, this is hard. Do I save the people near me, or do I go after the people who may be in danger now?
Fine question.
Well, I guess let's first run toward the north, screaming down the street as I go, yelling at people to evacuate Greenwood, run for their lives.
Okay.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
Yeah. Gung, 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 gung. Run, move, make your movement. Okay. We're gonna quickly hop away from you, Roz. And we are going to go to, we're gonna go to Corona. Who's
That's me.
down yonder.
Yep. Probably panting from all the running she's been doing so far.
Yeah, you've just been
Catching her
sprinting
breath.
everywhere.
Yeah. And I think while she's doing that, she's probably looking to her sides, making sure she's not being followed by any more of those things. She takes a moment to think about what she's going to do. She's right there at the exit.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as she knows, people are following protocol and staying inside.
You know, funny you said that. You can observe that the gate in front of you that's attached to Fazil's house is
Yeah.
ajar. Like someone opened it and did not bother to shut it.
Okay.
You don't know if that's going in or coming out.
Okay, fair enough.
You could make a couple of checks to try to figure that out if you'd like. But it's really up to where you or Corona's mind is at, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess she's catching her breath for a while, so maybe just like one check while she does that. I think that's fair.
You can make a survival or an investigation check, whatever you're feeling.
Okay. Survival or investigation? Let's do this. Investigation. They're both the same. Wow.
That's good though.
17, yeah.
This pathway, besides Fazil's house, is pretty well traveled. A lot of people go to the lake every day. But it's raining enough that while it is quite gravelly, you can see in some of the areas where it transitions from grass to dirt to gravel, where there's some mud, you can see there's a lot of recent footsteps exiting the village. That looks like people have just made the decision to leave because maybe they saw something that left them discontented enough that they didn't think staying in place was the safest choice.
Okay. Would she know how many footsteps or groups, I guess?
With that, you know there's at least a family that has passed through.
Okay.
Like based off of size of footprints, types of boots, things of that nature, but you can't tell if it's like over a certain amount. Well, I guess it's not messy enough that there was dozens of people, because then you would start losing a lot of like clarity in the footprints.
Yeah, yeah.
So honestly, you think it's probably a family, like a family unit, like two parents and at least a pair of kids.
Okay. So she kind of looks at that, sees that, and makes that connection, and then probably that's when the explosion up in the north happens that she sees, kind of snapping her back to the present. And I'm gonna keep this simple. I think I'm just gonna roll like a d4 to see whether she prioritizes staying at the gate and helping people escape, or moving on to try and rescue her family.
Okay.
I'll say if it's a 1 on the d4, she will stay, but anything else, she will probably still prioritize her family.
Okay.
I think that's fair for her headspace right now. She is really mostly doing this for her and her family's sake. So, okay. Okay. She says, she probably kind of thinks about it and mumbles to herself a little bit, and then kind of says, no, wouldn't be right to desert this place like this. I gotta wait. I think, knowing that, she is going to oh, there we go. Now we got some steps here. She's going to use her movement to get up to the watchtower here.
Yep.
Since it's nice and lit. And I guess she is going to keep her weapon drawn. We'll say that if she sees a hostile, like one of the ones that she's seen before, or anything that isn't like a Greenwood resident, she might fire.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, I think that's really what she's doing, as she kind of thinks about whether she's doing the right thing or not really, or, you know, she's just kind of, she's like everyone else, just kind of living by the second.
Okay.
Making decisions on the fly.
All right. We're gonna go to Titan now, who is in his abode with his wife.
And just stepped away.
No, you're not.
Oh, Ben just stepped away. Never mind, we're not going to Ben. We're going to Lilith and Adi and her family.
All right.
As has been established, it is very dark out. So for the gnomish family whose heritage did not grant them with genetics to see in the dark, it is difficult traversing this when you know there are hostile creatures around. However, Lilith has exceptional dark vision, which is both a gift and a curse in this particular moment, in that Lilith knows there are enemies nearby. So we're just going to start off with Lilith. You are leading the Albrecht family with Adi towards the south. What's the next step? You have some information here for you to make a decision on.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, she's seeing these things for the first time. She's never seen anything like this in Greenwood. She's going to assume this is part of something that's attacking the village. Do they look like they're coming towards this group right now?
Fair assumption. Yeah, you can tell they're quickly skittering around. They're stopping at corners of buildings, and you can see that they're kind of observing the surroundings before moving to their next position. So the one that's closer to the wall, illuminated by the torchlight from the watchtower, doesn't seem to have paid any attention to you. But this one here to the northwest, that you can see, looks like it has identified you and the group of people.
She's going to look back at the family and just say, towards the center of town, and then south. And kind of begin ushering them in this direction.
Okay. Lay of the path.
How many turns of movement are we getting at the moment?
We're a little loosey-goosey right now, but, you know, keep it around 2-ish.
Right. We assume that we're all dashing, or is the family able to keep up with something like that?
The family's doing its best. But they seem to be more than capable enough of keeping up.
Tell them there's a ledge there. Be careful.
There is a ledge there.
Thankfully, now they have a landmark they can see in the distance.
Mm-hmm. The large growing tree. Cease your movement there if you'd be so kind.
Oh. Okay.
It is at this point that the large, enormous burst of fire and flame occurs in front of the village outside the palisade walls. And you watch as the tops of this enormous wall of flames are flickering over top of it. It does, in this burst of illumination, for all of you who look back, given that the area is illuminated, allow me to quickly accommodate some changes here for the lighting. There are 2 torches that are lit on the front gate, and in this burst of firelight helps further cast in relief 2 figures that are still standing on the wall that are actively firing over with weapons. That being said, now that you've reached this position, Lilith, you are fairly confident that you are being pursued.
Ruh-roh.
Given that it is so dark, none of the Adi's mother, Isabel, cannot do anything to help. Adi, what are you up to? Just being
I believe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're keeping pace, probably either holding the hands of the twins or carrying Zine. But trying to basically help the ones with smaller legs keep up with everyone else.
Mhm. Yeah. Your mother does request that you basically take charge of Zine, given that she is hefting around a crossbow. Just
and
as a just in case.
Yeah. Then she's probably like humming a song to herself. A nursery rhyme they probably have, and if I was better at rhyming on the fly, I would have one. But something along the lines of may the dragons protect us. Something to try and keep Zine's spirits up. Being like, this is just an adventure, boy.
Okay. You guys reach this intersection, and you do hear a series of shouts that are coming from the east, beyond the cart storage past the tavern. And it's more than one person. It sounds like there's some sort of altercation that has broken out in the northeastern corner of the village. But you'll have to ruminate on that, because we're going to go hop over to Titan, who is at home with his wife having a lovely evening.
Yeah, they're just sitting down, having some tea.
Mm-hmm. Just, having a pint, waiting until it all blows over.
They are packed up. Titan would have grabbed himself a lantern. Let's see, yeah.
What did I just do?
Oh, that was me.
Ah.
Although it didn't do what I thought it would. I just had the lantern item in my inventory, and it was like, use it. And I was like, let's see what it does. But I don't know. Whatever.
That is odd.
Figure out how to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's doing here.
I don't know what it's doing either,
Madness.
but we're learning. So let's do that. I'm gonna go here. I will give you a lantern.
Okay. It's like, I don't know why that one blew up like this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Lantern.
Lantern.
And this is probably a spell template.
Whoops.
I had to hazard a guess. It is.
That's weird. Okay. Anyways. So the Titan can actually see. They've packed up. And Titan was... Alright, Lo. We gotta get as many people as we can out. Boy, his voice is not coming in today. Just stay close. And then he will head out the door.
Okay. She will, Lotus will follow suit. She has, she packed basically a heavy backpack, for both of you, of which you have, yours, both of which come with the usual survival items, and Lotus herself has armed herself with a short sword and a longbow.
Okay. I think we get to about here.
As you step outside, you see that Old Man Fazil is now standing next to the tree. He has a hand outreached, touching the bark. And it takes you a moment for it to sort of, like, crystallize in your mind that when you're now actually looking at him, he's no longer an old man. He looks like he's become younger. All the wrinkles on his face are gone. The slight hunch in his back is gone. His shoulders are broad, and he's heavily muscled, like an example of him in his prime. And you stand there. His head is bowed, his eyes are closed, and you're watching as the bark from the tree is growing outwards onto his hand and over his arms until it slowly begins to coat his entire body. And as it does, You are a witness to all of the leaves on the tree slowly beginning to fall and descend. At first, it's just a couple, and then it's dozens, and then it's hundreds within a couple of seconds. And the glow of the tree begins to dim.
I mean, Titan has a grip on magic. Can I do some sort of check to understand a little more of what's going on?
You can make an Arcana or a Nature check.
Probably gonna be Arcana. Where's my stats? Attributes. Sorry.
Yep. Remember, you can double click on your token to open up your character sheet.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
17.
Pretty good. Arcana?
Yeah, Arcana, yes.
Okay. So perhaps some of the finer mechanics of what happened you don't grasp, but you do know that because of the tree's sudden withering and Fazil's sudden younger visage, along with attributes of the tree being adopted by him physically, it seems as if he is absorbing essentially the life of the tree to give himself strength, power. And this is something that isn't unheard of, but the study of spirits and this sort of relationship is still ongoing in terms of its understanding. Yeah. But you definitely think you're watching this happen in real time, something that is, again, still not quite fully understood.
All right. Do I think that he needs to, stay hyper-focused, or do I think I can talk to him?
As Titan's kind of making this observation, and you're thinking about that, he pulls his hand away. He's head to toe covered in a suit of what looks like armor composed of bark. His walking stick nearby has grown rapidly into a long staff with a twisted vine point on one end covered in thorns. And he just sort of leans back. He turns over and you see these two glowing magical green eyes in the face of the helmet observe you and Lotus. Titan?
What do you need us to do, old man? Where do you need us?
We have to make sure that all of the villagers get out. They don't know that it is unsafe to stay in the village any longer. I'm going to head north. I'm going to sound as much as I can to tell people to leave. Go to houses, let them know. It is time to go.
Right. We'll go east.
Very good. It's been a pleasure
right.
knowing you, Titan. Lotus.
Titan just kind of stares at him. And I didn't know it was going to be that bad. It's been a pleasure, old man. Fazil. And he gives a crooked smile. Give him hell.
Yes. And just make sure to keep my children safe. And he will put his hand back on the tree, and it'll sort of tear open at the center, and he'll step through it. And it'll reseal almost immediately, and he'll vanish.
All right. I mean, we've used all our movement. Had a sad goodbye.
Sad, abrupt.
Abrupt.
Okay.
Not how Titan envisioned it would end. But yeah, that's us.
We're gonna hop back over to Roz, who's sword in hand, axe on her side, is running off to the north.
Yep.
reminds me.
Brave and reckless.
I also need to keep Rorkin moving. So you have like 2 actions worth of economy to sort of play with here. You're running,
Okay.
you're yelling,
Mm-hmm.
the machine menace is here to get us.
That was 1 dash. I can just see Galen.
Yep. So you see, you come up into what is Rorkin, basically coming up with a low swinging uppercut. You just see one of these mechanical automatons just go flying 30 feet away as he knocks it off of somebody who had been pushed to the ground. He helps the villager up, and you notice that it is Galen, the blacksmith's apprentice, the half-orc, who you had some beef with in the past.
Hmm. Well.
You walk up to them, and you can tell they're having a hasty conversation. And it looks like Rorkin is pulling something out of his pack, a tube, just like it looks like a long tube with copper dragon embellishments on it. And you see Galen's arguing with him about something. Roz, you got here quickly. I thought you were leaving.
See, I heard your advice and I decided to ignore it. I thought it could help.
Well, according to Galen, lots of families. He's also said it's a lot worse outside the walls than it is inside. We need to send a signal. And he holds up the tube. I have a flare that'll call in reinforcements from the Shalcir, but I don't think it'll work underneath the umbrella of whatever they launched into the air. Galen recommended... I said that we should go to the plateau. I don't think whatever they did is covering the Craftsman's Plateau, so I think if I run it out there, I can fire it off and we can get help. And you see Rorkin just sort of swat him on the side of the knee with it. Yes, but you said it is dangerous. You'll die. You can't do this. I don't even think about saying it, Roz. You should probably just go knock on doors. People need to know to get out of here.
All right. Then you go fire the flare.
He turns. I was gonna. Thank you for saying so.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Great.
Right,
All
there's no debate then.
Yeah. Rorkin kind of veers off to the right. Galen's stuck there standing dumbstruck, as if the scenario you could tell he's got a it looks like he's got a burn on his left shoulder. It's just black and charred. He's wearing his blacksmith's apron. It looks like he quite literally came from working at the forge, which is unusual given that everything's supposed to be all the craftsmen are supposed to be at home at this point in the time of night. And he's just standing there dumbfounded. He's holding a hammer in his other hand. All right, Roz, we're gonna go get people and get them out of here, right?
You look like you're in shock.
No, I've been shocked. There's a difference. Have you fought one of these things yet?
Haven't even seen one close up.
Okay, they like grabbing onto you, and they have he just does like a finger gesticulation where he's like trying to, like, if he'd be jabbing you with a finger, it would hurt. They have a prod. It sticks you and it electrocutes you. It hurts. But they like jumping, so if you just wait for that moment where they jump at you and attack, they're pretty vulnerable. They just tend to pop up in numbers. And
Right.
Before I came over through the wall, there was also these huge hulking things I saw start coming in from the north side of the village, which I think is really bad news.
Okay. Well, we're gonna try to not fight any of those.
All right. Well, let's go knock on doors. And he turns and he begins walking, or he running. Let's be honest.
And that's the end of my movement as well.
Mm-hmm. And as you both turn, seemingly in a collaborative relationship, you get there, and just on the edge of your torchlight, you see the reflective carapace of one of these creatures heading in your direction, with the sounds of more approaching from the north.
Ah, shit.
Corona.
Mm-hmm.
While you're waiting in the watchtower, you know this torch was lit by somebody. It's fire. It's it's oil and wrappings meant to provide light when all these magical lights ceased working. So you know somebody was here, but no one's here anymore. You notice that several of the weapons from the station are missing, and there are a couple of scorch marks along on the wood. As you are carefully surveying your surroundings, you do see rushing into your vicinity. You see two of these critters, these mechanical automatons. One is on the ground, rapidly crawling in your direction. The other one's coming along the palisade walkway.
Okay. She would like to take a shot at one of them.
Take your pick.
Okay, she'll take that far one, assuming that there's no difference in cover between the two.
No.
Okay.
Just a height advantage on one.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna try and pick that further one off first, because she can build distance. Let's see if this works. Looks like it will. Normal. Let's see.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely
nice.
hit.
Cool. Normal damage.
Oh, very nice.
Damage.
Yeah. You see these enemies closing in on you rapidly. You assess that it's better to take off the one that can get to you directly versus the one that has to clamber up the stairs. You take the longbow, you knock the arrow, you draw it back, and you fire, and it goes straight through the small glowing red eye and just pins it to the walkway. And you watch as it crackles and sputters, and the lights all turn off.
Okay. If she can, because that was just a ready thing. I think she feels like an immediate sense of like, oh, this is winnable, maybe. Or at least she can defend this. She's not going to hesitate, and she's going to try and shoot this guy, knock another arrow.
Go for it.
Although, well, yeah, okay, yeah, she'll do that. I had another plan. I didn't expect enemies, but maybe I should have. Yeah, she'll do that. So that's -1 arrow. And then boom. Sorry for. Oh, that's a miss for sure.
Yeah, that is a miss.
Okay.
They are small and mostly annoying, but they are very nimble.
Okay. And you said we're trying to keep it to 2 actions?
More or less, yeah. Like,
okay.
You fire off your arrows, and it's going to make a quick beeline for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come rushing up the steps, and it's going to basically just with its momentum jut out its its electrical prod in front of you, in front of it, and it's going to try to give you a bit of a zap.
Oh, that's going to be a hit.
I had a weird moment where I rolled a digital dice. Oh no. 4 points of lightning damage.
Ouch. Okay.
Zap.
That's 4. There we go. Okay, that's not good. All right. Well. 2 questions.
Yep.
Would there happen to be other weapons up here in this outpost as well? And if so, could she grab one as a free action?
There are spears and quarterstaffs normally at every outpost.
Oh, normally.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is only a quarterstaff left here.
Oof. Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, then, she is going to, assuming I still have one action,
Basically.
she is going to. She has to disengage, I think, for the time being. Yeah. She is going to. But she can't. Nah. She will provoke.
Okay. It's going to attempt to zap you, and it will the 16.
Yep. To hit, absolutely.
3 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Could be worse, but not that great. And then she will kind of stabilize herself after being shocked twice and hope for the best, honestly. These arrows are not going down, but that's a problem for later.
I believe.
Oh,
very
hey,
good.
okay. Cool. Oh, it even made a noise. Cool.
It did.
There we go.
So this is a change that would need to be made for the longbow, but longbows in my setting have the finesse property, so you can add your strength modifier.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
do that real quickly then. That'd be a +2.
Perfect. The good news is that is exactly what you needed in order to knock this to 0.
Whew. Okay.
Hooray! You're no longer under threat.
For now.
For now.
And that marks the end of her turn as she catches her breath.
Okay. Corona being harried, in danger. We're gonna go back towards Lilith and Audie and her family.
Oh boy.
Where now that you guys have kind of hit the center lane of the village, it's pretty clear that the tree that has always been so large and healthy is losing a lot of its glow. And for you, Lilith, whose dark vision's a little bit better, you can see that a lot of leaves are falling off its branches.
Very concerning.
Yeah.
Not the biggest concern right now.
Yep. So, Lilith, Audie, what are you guys doing?
Riding's out.
Yeah. Lilith is going to point towards what she is pretty sure is Titan and Lotus.
The only dragon eye in the village, yep.
But she's going to let herself straggle just a little bit. Kind of take up the rear, since she's pretty sure everyone at this point knows the direction and they can kind of see where they're going.
Well enough. Yeah, everyone's dashing. That's what the looks of this is.
I would say so. Audie's keeping an eye on Lilith. Like she doesn't want her to like sneak away. Not that she thinks Lilith would. She thinks that's more of like something Roz would do. But she's still worried about her friend. She wants to make sure everybody gets out, so she's kind of keeping a wary eye around her.
Roz not even here, but still catching strays.
Absolutely.
Damn, what did I do to you?
Yeah, right.
Probably got me in a lot of trouble when I was a kid, and it was fun.
Fair enough.
But considering she heard that they were being followed, Lilith is going to hold up her crossbow and ready an attack for the first little tiny mechanical thing that rounds that corner after them.
Hilarious you say that. One comes one comes skittering around the corner.
I suppose I'm good to roll then.
You are. It is to your north.
Oof. A total of a 4.
No, that is not good enough. It quickly skitters off to the side. The crossbow quarrels, skids off the stones, and it continues rushing towards you. Okay. Is that all you guys are doing? You guys have dashed. You've gotten here. You fired off a crossbow bolt. Adi, anything you would like to do?
We're just keeping running. I'm guessing there's nothing at my feet I can kick at to, like,
No.
push off, but yeah.
Nope.
Best we can do.
Okay. Titan and Lotus.
Titan and Lotus. I cannot see that family coming towards us.
No, they do not have a light source.
I imagine there's a good deal of shouting, though.
Around here. And true to his word, he's just gonna start yelling to abandon the village. And I mean, whose house is this?
So both this house, this, and the ones opposite them are the shower and bath houses.
Okay, so that's just like a bunch of randos.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, if there are people in there, you know, they've gotten caught with their pants down, literally. So, but they would likely hear you. So,
okay, well then Titan's probably not going to go knock on their door. I know I've hinted at the fact that Lotus, you know, trains with Titan and does have some weapons and stuff.
Yep.
She would have a spear is what she uses.
ah,
So, just for your information, you know, in case something happens to us.
mm-hmm.
So, figuring the bathhouse would hear us. Whoops. Gonna keep going. I mean, Titan knows the layout of the town better than I do. Houses to the east.
So yeah,
Start over here.
all the houses, the entire east side of the village is just all lined with houses. Yeah, that is the first house.
Okay.
And then pretty much every building you will find at that line, eastward, north, and south, are all homes.
Okay. Then yes, that is exactly what he wants. Houses.
Okay.
Many people as he can get.
Okay.
So he has another 60 feet for dashing.
Yep.
So we're doing kind of 2-ish turns. Is this hill a big obstruction that I need to worry about? Do I go around it?
No, it's not so like, I mean, if you want to go around it, you can. There's a little walk up here. It's a 10-foot elevation. So it really depends on you whether or not, like, if you're strong enough, you can easily like clamber up the bit of the slope there.
Titan can get up that pretty easy and help Lotus up pretty easy too. Up the hill. Also, you know, again, Fazil has pretty detailed plans. Does Titan know of like a signal, a way to let everybody know to abandon town? Like, does he want to? Is he trying to get to a gong? Is he trying to flash his lantern?
The bells and the watchtowers are the way to communicate to the village at large.
Okay.
That being said, there is one at the town meeting hall as well, if that might readjust your direction, which is this big building here to the south.
Okay, that does adjust things.
Yeah, so if you'd like to start back over here,
yeah,
just
I guess we better
rewind time
to the town hall. Whoops. 50.
And essentially, the bell is just on the outside of either door here. There are two.
Okay. Well, then Titan will go to one, Lotus go to the other, and we'll start ringing the ringing in the new.
Yeah.
Just letting people know.
Yeah, so yeah, as explained with Corona last session, yeah, there are a series of bells, and there's like shutters on the bells to adjust the tonal resonance of it.
Yeah.
And so there's a very specific sound that was essentially told at one town hall gathering that if you hear this, worst news imaginable, run.
Okay. Then Titan will be doing that tone, and so
Yeah.
will Lotus.
Okay.
Which will take their second turn, is what I will say.
Okay.
In that regard.
Then we'll hop back over to Roz, who's with Galen heading north and catching sight of the first handful of automatons. Again, these small, multi-sectioned, four-legged creatures that are just quickly skittering along on the ground. They have these small little red eyes are attached to an articulated like appendage that allows them to look in a 360-degree view.
I'm gonna skid to a stop right here behind Galen.
Mm-hmm.
Look to Galen. Do me a favor. Hold this. I'm gonna hold out my torch to him.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. And then I'm going to grab him by the back of his collar and start running south.
Ah. Okay.
I don't trust him to run.
Yeah, he's resistant at first, so you'll lose 5 feet of movement, basically like difficult terrain. But then he'll eventually he'll relent. So just subtract 5 feet of total movement from whatever this plan is.
Then that is a dash.
Okay.
We're not going to save anyone. Best we can do is save you.
You're just going to give up on the rest of the village like that?
I'm not charging into 4 of them.
Have you at least cleared these homes? Do we know if
Nope.
there's anyone still here?
No idea.
He's grimacing heavily.
Okay, fine. You get the 2 houses on the west, and I'll get the other 3 on the east.
Yeah, fine. Plan for the next turn, I guess, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Moving on. Corona. You've been harried,
sir.
you've been hurt. You hear an ever-increasing sound of combat, echoing sounds of people fighting, shouts, and somewhere in the distance beyond that flickering wall of fire, a somewhat resonant sound that you can't quite place because it's pretty muddled amongst all the noise, but something, you feel like something is building up and something is arriving soon, and it is not a good feeling. What are you doing in your watchtower?
I think she would also probably hear the gong that Titan and Lotus are doing. Yeah, so that kind of reminds her, and now that she's not being harried immediately, she's going to activate the light here, because I think all the ones in the south were deactivated, right?
So all the magical lights, were deactivated, but they just don't work.
Oh, they don't work.
They
period.
don't work.
Oh,
yeah, it's not like an
Rip.
on switch. It's not like an off switch was turned on. They've been disabled.
rip. Okay.
That's why the torches have been put in place.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't suppose that there's any sort of like first aid kits or something in these watchtowers, is there?
There is. There's essentially in each of the watchtowers there's a single healing potion.
Okay.
Quite literally for emergencies.
Okay. I think she's the only one keeping defense here, so I feel like she probably thinks she's entitled to it right now. She's just gonna go ahead, grab it, and drink it.
Okay.
Because she is not feeling great. Is it still 1d4 plus 4 or
No. Here.
I always forget the formula.
D6 plus con?
Yeah, it's 1d6. Just plus con.
Plus
Here.
con? Okay.
There you go. It's in your inventory now. Oh no,
Oh,
that's the wrong
perfect.
one. I made a boo boo. I
It's a
highlighted all of
non-villager.
I highlighted
Oh.
all of the potions, and dragged in a level 9 somehow. So
Well,
let's,
level 9, yeah.
let's not do that.
Dang,
Ultra
Fazil
buff
provided
Corona.
us with that good stuff.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, that'll be what she consumes. Yes. Yep. Usability. Normal. Hey, cool.
Nice.
Whoa.
Sound effects. I actually don't like that sound effect. I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off.
It sounded like it was something out of StarCraft or something.
Yeah.
Nah, it's cool though. Okay. So that's probably going to be her first turn. Her second turn will probably be just to, if she can't turn on any lights, she's going to keep watch still and ready in action if any more bogeys come into view.
Okay.
Simple turn.
All right. Lilith, Audie, and the Albrecht family.
I imagine we're still fleeing.
We'll take another pot shot if she runs, because not sure if this thing's going to be able to catch up or not.
They're pretty quick. But yeah, you can fire another crossbow bolt.
13 total.
A 13 will do it. Roll damage, please.
That'll be a total of 5 damage.
Okay. You manage to wing it. The bolt sort of scores along its side, shearing off one of its legs. It's going to hobble a little, but it is still operational.
She will encourage the family to get
Yeah.
ahead of her.
As you guys all make it through this the main intersection of town, you see that the share house doors open, and you notice a shock of green hair peering out through the door. Hey! Audie! What the hell's going on?
And Audie-
It's Valman.
Yeah, Audie will kind of look at him and like wave her hand. Gotta run. You gotta run. And then she kind of like pokes Zine, like, tell him.
You gotta run. We're all running. And honestly, you could hear voices inside that Valman's speaking to briefly, and then you just see Valman just burst out of the door with the satchel over his shoulder. And he gets there dashing.
Any of the voices we hear happen to be her brother, Alidade?
Make a perception check.
Oh, look, my first dice roll. How cool. What's my modifier to that? It's a 10.
You know, you're not like 100% certain on it, but you do hear a voice, and it resonates enough with you that you go, it sounds like Alidade.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, all the voices sound familiar.
Mm-hmm. And as Galen comes close, she just kind of like
Valman.
mutters out to him.
Valman.
Valman, sorry. I looked down at my notes.
Yeah.
I looked down at my notes. Valman, as Valman kind of comes close. Get them all to run. Get them all to run. We have to leave.
Hey, it's not my job. I'm a coward. I told them to run, and they said they're going to fight and get the other people out. I'm running. They're staying.
Goodbye. And she starts turning around to leave as well. She's got Zine. She can't really stay and fight, right?
Yeah.
And she trusts her brother.
Yeah. As you guys are like committing to your southerly exit, you will see a group of individuals come out of the share house, armed with spears, shields. You see Alovor, the frequent fisherman down at Moondrop Lake, has a net slung over her shoulder, his fishing rod. You see Arva, who has a brace of her butcher knives across her chest. Just people that came out, heard commotion, knew things were bad, and just grabbed everything that was nearby that they're proficient with and decided to fight. But they've come out looking prepared. Also, I hate to keep making these references, but I know there's enough people here that have played it. You know, you ever seen that group of green NPCs in Fire Emblem that appear on another side of the map and they go to fight all the enemies, even though you know they're probably going to die? It's kind of what just happened. Yeah.
Don't you put that curse on them.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying it definitely, like, evokes very similar situations. Okay. That is Lilith and Audie and the Albrecht family and a new group of NPCs. And we're going to go to Titan and Lotus, who are at Town Hall ringing the abandoned ship bell. It is simultaneously alarming, but then to the ears of everyone in this village who knows what it is, very sad. What are the next steps? Yeah, you, Ben.
Yeah. Sorry. We're heading east.
Okay.
We've sounded the alarm. Now we're gonna go check and make sure people are running, seeing who needs help.
At that middle point, you do see a pair of individuals down south, illuminated by their torchlight, fleeing towards the southern gate. It's an older, non-small humanoid tugging what looks like a child behind them.
Okay. Both Lotus and Titan would be far more concerned with children and families than with able-bodied people. So yeah, making our way that way.
Okay.
I think we're close to our full movements, so I think that's as far as we get for now.
Okay. Roz and Galen.
Sweet. He's supposed to go west.
He gonna.
I'm going east. I don't see shit.
No, yeah, he took your torch with him.
Well, that's my fault.
Again, it's there's enough, light for you to be able to realize I'm on a walkway. This is a door,
Well, I am going to hit that door. I can't see it.
Yeah. Both you and Galen, you'll both hear kind of successive just raps on the door, just pounding fists to get attention. There's a longer moment than you would like. You don't get a response from yours, Roz, but you do notice the door is unlocked. You do hear, while you're realizing that from the west, that Galen does have a conversation. Like you hear the door open. And you see him talking to someone. What are you doing over there?
Well, I have made a blunder. Even if I did go in here, there's no light in there probably. I will really quickly open the door and make sure. Yeah, there's no light. Can't see anything.
Yep.
Well, I forgot. I'm human. I can't see anything.
Yeah. They're leaving, and you see a steady stream of individuals from this house, and they're running quickly in this direction. 2 parents, 2 kids. And Galen's just going to use the rest of his movement to get down this door and also just wail away on this door.
All right.
Given that's as far as he can get. That's what he's doing. Are you good there?
That's my whole
economy?
dash.
Okay.
Oh, Roz, a loser still.
Roz, make a perception check for me.
Uh, 3.
Yeah, man, Galen knocks really loudly. Yep, you certainly don't hear anything else.
Nope.
That being said, there is the sounds of battle that have become very noticeable to the east. Sounds that were not there before.
I can guess what that's from.
Okay. Corona. You do have another friend joining you.
Oh boy.
Up here on the wall. I don't know if you can quite see him.
Yep, just barely.
Yep. Just arriving in the cone of your vision.
Yep. Yeah, she drank a potion, and I think she readied an action to shoot. Okay, cool. So she will shoot or attempt to. Oh, okay.
Oh
cool.
yeah, nice. That'll hit.
Oh, it's not adding the thingy. I thought okay, that's fine. I guess it would be 6 total.
6. The arrow spears through it, breaking 2 of its legs. It is still mobile, barely, but still functioning enough.
Okay.
It's
gonna try and follow up with another one.
Okay.
Okay, now it's using arrows. I think I know why. Actually, question.
Yeah.
Since these are different sheets and all, I didn't even think about it, but would we be considered proficient in these weapons?
So for those of you that have trained in the city militia, there were certain weapon proficiencies that I did not give you that I was supposed to.
Okay.
So for someone who like Lilith, who like started training but hasn't been like full-fledged for, has been training for less than a year, limited training, considering that she wouldn't have been given like patrols yet. But anyone that's been put on the wall, you've been put through the gamut to learn spear, shield, quarterstaff, light crossbows, and longbows. If you were strong enough to use the longbows. So yeah, you would have proficiencies like that if you are a full-fledged member of the town militia.
Okay.
So
cool.
Corona is, Roz is, even Titan is.
Alrighty. In that case, cancel now. It's asking me previous roll of longbow has not completed. Let's just cancel that. Oh, okay. Complete previous, I guess. Let's complete it. Okay. So situational. I'll just add a situational bonus because I haven't edited the weapon. There we go. 12 to hit.
Yep, that'll do it.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And then I'll add the bonus situationally. There we go. Nice.
Oh, yeah. The second one spears it through its robotic eye and pins it through its body and again onto the palisade. You are racking up quite a little graveyard here of these guys.
Okay. I guess the final thing is as these things are being destroyed, they're not like exploding afterwards or anything, are they?
No. You see the arcane energies inside them kind of spark, and then they just kind of pop and dissipate. Nothing that you think, if you were holding one or were attached to you, you think it might give you a little discharge, but no, they're not exploding.
Okay. If she has a pouch to hold on to things other than the quiver she's got, I feel like she's probably going to try and like take this one and like assuming taking isn't an action, she's probably gonna smack it just like one solid hit against the tower, just to make sure it's dead.
Just grab it by its leg and just slam it into the post.
Yeah, basically. Before stowing it away, because she wants to keep a reminder of who exactly attacked the village.
Yeah. They're not quite small enough to fit into a pouch, however.
Oh, they're not that. Okay.
No.
Okay. So this is something she'd have to carry out with like two hands on the way out if she wanted to do that. Okay.
You could strap it to your belt. Like I said, it would be like the equivalent of the size of like its body is twice the size of your average like belt pouch.
Okay.
So you could
that
like,
is pretty
tie it.
big.
You could like
Okay.
tie it off to your belt or something.
If you're willing to allow that as an action, yeah, she'll do that. She's close enough to the exit that she doesn't think it'll become a hindrance or anything.
Okay. Yeah. By all means,
Okay.
take one of the gnomish. You can add it to your inventory. Gnomish automaton's body.
Okay. That is her turn.
Okay. The Albrecht family? Lilith, Audie?
I'd say we're still running. Unless anyone says anything to stop us.
Seems like we've got a good group of people who are going that way, and there isn't that many houses.
And we can go 60 in a run, right?
If you're dashing, yeah.
Yeah.
You still have one of these automatons that you can see still limping after you.
After our first round, Lilith will once again turn after reloading the crossbow and try to take a shot at it.
Okay. Fire away.
That's a 7.
7 does not hit. The good news is it is substantially wounded enough that it is not doing as good of a job keeping up with you as it once was.
Lilith took the action to shoot, so she only goes 30 feet for the last one.
As you guys make it closer to the center of the village, you hear several more shouts from the northwest. It sounds like the group of people you saw. It sounds like shouts of warning, calling people out of their homes, telling them to flee south. That the situation's far worse. Okay, Titan and Lotus.
Titan and Lotus cannot see Audie and her family, or Lilith. So, stay the course. Titan's gonna go... Well, Titan will get to about here.
Yeah.
Realize that this is Galen and Roz knocking on doors.
Yeah, there's a family, which I just don't have illustrated here, but they're just running along the edge back here to the south along this cabin. It looks like one of the parents is holding a torch. Again, 2 parents, 2 kids that are running south, and it looks like Galen's just wailing on this door, trying to get someone to answer.
Okay. Then gonna call out, Galen, you and anybody responding?
Just this house here to the north. No one here yet. I think Roz didn't get anybody out of the other house either. But there are a bunch of houses to the north that Rorken wanted us to go get. But Roz said it was better to run. What should we do, Titan? For the record, this is very important to Titan and Lotus's characters. The eastern side of the village is the village that has the cabins that are largely 2 stories. You get a 2-story cabin when you have enough family to fill it. The eastern side of the village is the most populous and has the most children to family ratio.
I appreciate that information.
Yeah.
But it does not change Titan's answer, which is, you and Roz get out of here. Lo and I'll head north. Get as many people as you can on your way out.
Make a persuasion check for me, Titan.
Can do. The thing that he's the worst at.
Lotus will help you.
Oh.
Because she's quite good. She's quite good and sweet. And would do her best to also try to help you convince Galen that it's probably safer and better for him to head south.
And what a help she was, because that went from a 5 to a 19.
Yep, very good.
Good work, Lotus.
Yeah. You see a lot of fight in Galen's eyes. You can tell he's literally searching for a reason to go with you, to go north, to go fight, to go find people, to go save people.
Yeah.
But between your earnest, firm proclamation and Lotus, who is basically a surrogate mother to him, you just kind of see that sort of rebelliousness, that eagerness just kind of capitulate, and he nods. He looks like the wind's been taken out of his sails, but he agrees. All right. Roz, I guess let's go.
All right, fine.
As Galen turns around, no answer at this abode, he will turn and hand you the torch back. You can tell, like, you think he's going to say something kind of cheeky, but then he thinks better of it given the circumstances. But upon doing so, Titan, Lotus, Galen, and Roz, you will observe as several of these mechanical creatures come skittering out of the darkness.
Well, that's no fun.
No, not at all.
Well,
Titan can get to here
I have
and hold
used
an action.
30 feet to get to where I am. I am going to ready an action to attack the first one that gets within 5 feet of me. Oh, and drop the torch.
Just gonna drop the torch at your feet.
Yep.
Can I do this? I can't. The torch is at your feet. We know. We all
Yeah.
know.
I'll probably scoop it up before I leave anyway.
Yeah. You know, for the sake of, because this is where some action is happening, you are all just welcome to proceed as these creatures are, again, charging you.
Okay. Titan does not fight with weapons, so he's going to be clawing one of them.
Okay.
Attribute. 15 to hit.
15 will hit. Are you attacking the northern one or the eastern one?
Northern.
Okay.
And
roll
as
damage.
of right now, Titan can only do the base damage for a punch or whatever, which is 1 plus his
Strength mod.
strength mod, so 5, just a flat 5 damage.
Still good. It is still operational. You tear through its plating, its outer plating, and it sparks, but it is still very lively.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have 2 attacks.
Okay.
That's Titan.
Roz?
Roz cares about Glory just a little bit. Now's her chance. She's got a long sword. There's other people around in case she fucks up. 18 to hit.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
For 11 damage.
Wow. Yeah, good hit.
Very nice.
Kind of like how Galen warned you. When you got within range, it saw the opportunity to carry its momentum forward, and it leapt, expanding its legs out like it was going to grasp onto you. But you take this longsword that you've had brandishing, threateningly around at nothing so far, put both hands on it as the torch is slowly falling to the ground, and you just wind up, meet the timing, and you just cut it straight in half. And both sides of it just kind of tumble and fall to the ground next to you, sputtering and then turning dark.
Oh, I got one! Titan, I got one! Oh. Run back, grab the torch. Right, running.
Titan will just be like, "Great job, kid."
Lotus
Don't
is going
get
to
cocky.
Lotus is going to come up and spear the other one, finishing it off. Right. We're running now. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And with that, we are going to take a break. And when we come back,
All right.
we are going to go see where everyone else shakes out.
Okay.
So, we will be right back in 10 minutes. I think we're back. And I think all the sound things are working properly. Yep, looks good. Looks everything looks good. Cool. Hi everybody, welcome back. Our break is over. We will be running 15 minutes longer. And we're just going to pick right back up where we left off. Which Titan, Lotus, Roz, and Galen have all come together. With the begrudging conclusion that Roz and Galen should leave, while Titan and Lotus are going to head into the northeastern corner of the village to try to evacuate as many families as they can. Since we just went from there, no, I probably should have just actually started an initiative order, because now that I took that 10-minute break, my brain completely lost the order since two groups have joined together. Who would technically be next? Does it matter at this point? Did I just reestablish a new order since we just came back?
It
It
went.
has been going.
It went Roz, Corona,
Roz,
Lilith, and
yeah.
Audie Titan.
Okay, so the first and last have now come together. So I'll put you
Yes.
guys all together first. So next we will go to Corona.
Okay. Real easy turn. Ready in action to shoot hostiles and keep watch to
Okay.
make sure that there's no one like just out of sight that she might be able to help.
Okay. Well, your first sighting of some villagers has arrived in the form of Braun and Rory, who have come running from the east.
Just at the edge, yeah. Okay, I see them.
Oh, strange. But no, continue.
No, I was just gonna say that Corona would lower her bow once she makes out that it's them and not these automatons, and she'd just tell him, "Glad to see something that ain't a machine. You two keep on moving."
Yes, the plan. You see Roy he half waves at you, but the fist is closed around a wooden sword as he's being dragged along by his grandfather. Okay, yeah, pretty simple. Just holding
Yep.
you around. Respect.
Yep.
In which case, Lilith, Audie, Albrecht family, and technically Valman now.
What is this building?
That is Titan's abode.
Ah, okay.
It is doctor office abode library. You know,
Gotcha.
just to the all-purpose doctor's library. Yeah.
That's 50 feet. 60 feet. Kind of wait for the others to catch up.
I was gonna say, yeah. Have we been going 2 rounds per?
Roughly.
Oh, I've only been going 60 feet. I should technically be going 120 then.
Well, it's fine. Your family's keeping up with you, and they've been using 2 actions, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were dashing or not.
Yeah, well, it's hard for the family. Their overall movement speed is less because it is multiple people kind of running in a gaggle. So there has also been a chance that somebody trips this entire time, and the dice have been kind to the family.
Oh, that's
unit.
nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, that was my first turn. Second one, I'll just be getting here and keeping an eye out, directing people down this way.
Speaking of which, you see some torchlight bleeding around the edge of Titan's office. At least, Audie did prior to her movement.
Yes, I would have. I think I saw that. Where were we?
In front of your family.
There we are. Yeah.
Yeah. You would see a steady increase in torchlight, like someone's running around the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of you would hear a surprised shout from somewhere to the west, like not far, like on the other side of the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm. A bad surprise, like they've been hurt, or just like, huh?
Like they probably. Oh, you know what? Insight check. Go ahead and roll an insight check. Why?
All right.
Let's see what you actually think it is.
That's a 6.
They sure sound surprised. Yeah.
they sure sound something cool. All right. She's got her family with her.
Okay. Moving along.
Yeah, is there? We have another round of motion movement, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You should.
Da-da-da-da. There's the...
Oh, there's enemies.
Oh boy.
Well, I only did my movement because I wanted to wait for you. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to take more pot shots.
Pop off, Queen.
No, it's Quinn.
Ah, sorry.
Okay, 12 to hit.
12 just hits.
Ooh, nice. 7 damage.
Ooh, the magic number. The bolt skewers its body. You see a brief internal spark, and then it crumples.
But I already dashed once, so that was my second turn. So that is all of Lilith's stuff.
Okay. Well, Audie's also moved twice. The family is trying to keep up the best they can. And same for Valman, because he's got very short gnome legs.
I'll move back a bit then, because I guess Audio's probably be not much further than her family, but probably a little ahead.
That is respectable. Okay. Just moving some NPCs. Then we round back to the front with Titan and Lotus and Roz and Galen.
Time to immediately separate.
Yep, I was like, you might as well just keep us in that initiative order.
Fair enough. Roz and Galen. I guess technically we'd be at the end, so never mind. Titan and Lotus.
Yeah.
All right. North.
Just jumping off a cliff. I see.
That's how we do. How big is the cliff?
5-6 feet. Really nothing for Titan.
Well then.
Yeah. That being said, Titan, you do see a couple of hostiles within your lantern light.
Yep. It was a dash to get here.
Yeah. We're operating with 2 turns, basically.
Yeah. This appears to be a wall.
Yes,
and not
it's
a
the edge.
door.
It's the edge of a home. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
if you,
Titan has to make his way to the homes. So here, attack.
okay.
Oh, and miss.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. An 8.
Yeah, that is a miss. It is going to attack you back.
Okay.
It is also going to miss. It is going to jab at you with its prod. You're going to just kind of kick the prod away, and you will miss it. Lotus
Perfect.
is going to close the distance. She just moved her original 30 feet, so she'll dash to get in the position, and then on the second action, will attempt to stab down at it with a spear. And hit.
Yay.
Wow, she did really well. Natural 18 on the dice, and then a 7 on the D8, which, if we were listening earlier, is the magic number. So Titan, you provide an ample distraction. Lotus runs up, kind of also taking a leap off of that edge, and then just drives the spear down into it.
I love seeing you kill things.
She bats her eyes at you, but then quickly goes back to being serious.
Yeah.
That being said, Lotus's attention kind of snaps to the east, as you both hear some pretty heavy footfalls from behind this home. It does not sound like anything you've ever heard in the village.
Well, that's not good.
No.
Unfortunately, we're both out of movement and actions.
Yeah.
And...
I guess we're going back to the top of the round, because that's the end of the bottom. We'll just leave that suspense there. Roz, Galen. Running?
I can see that thing just barely.
Don't be alarmed.
Titan, run!
Galen grabbed you by the, by the forearm, Roz. Should we go help them?
Did you what? That thing is smashes against the wall!
What's the point of you having that fancy sword if you're not going to use it?
I used it once. You are way too brave.
Yep. Galen's gonna make a roll. He fails. He lets go of your forearm, Roz, and he's going to, against the initial wishes of Titan and Lotus, he's going to start making his way over. Make sure you have the right tool selected.
I have the right tool selected. I'm not sure what I'm doing. He yanking me along with him?
No, he let you go.
Oh,
He saw your unwillingness and he's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go.
You know what? I've been bad enough. Besides, I see people on the other side of the village who need help. And no one can stop me.
Right into the ditch.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's my 2 turns.
All right.
I can see my family. Kept my promise.
Okay. Corona.
I think it's gonna be the same as last turn. Just ready to shoot on hostiles and keep watch. At this point, people are kind of funneling in, so it'd make no sense for her to leave her post now.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Nice and simple.
Lilith, Audie, Ulbricht family.
Well, we're taking a shot at this thing before it gets any closer.
Yep, it's definitely looking to.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, nice.
She really wants to keep these kids safe, so max the first dice and then roll normally, right?
Yeah, it's a D8 though. It's a light crossbow you're using.
Yeah.
I mean, you can roll for fun just to see your big numbers, but you definitely destroy this.
14 total.
Oh, yeah. Double its health. This one, just, you break into, like, multiple different, like, dozens of parts. You just apparently hit, like, the master switch where it just self-destructs.
Lilith is pointing that way for the family to go.
No, go around, go around, go around. Okay, well, the, family's gonna squeeze through this space. Balman is also doing his best to just keep to keep running. His short, gnomish legs. What about you, Audie? Keeping pace with your family?
Yeah. We will be, well, keeping pace. I didn't want to jump in front of Lilith's bow. So,
I mean, she's shooting
There we go.
east to west, so I think you're fine.
yeah, should be probably like a step ahead kind of thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
keep it up.
Okay.
We are still going towards the door, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
I don't know if you zoom out enough, it's over here. If you just look from my ping.
Of course, there's another one.
Oh, we might have gone the wrong way.
No, you guys around the town hall is very roundabout, no matter how you take it.
Oh, okay.
So, that
Well.
being said,
I took one shot
yeah, true. You haven't moved from your position yet.
and see another one around the corner because I was waiting for the family to get by.
Yep.
Gonna load up another bolt.
Yep. Fire away. And
Right,
the-
that should hit. 14 total.
Yep.
5 damage.
Ooh. Good, but not good enough. Again, you wreck its body, but it's still functioning.
Kind of step a bit closer, but she wants to keep eyes on it. And Valmond is slow.
Yes, he is.
She's
Lilith,
getting kind of confident.
it is noticeable for you. There is no longer any form of light coming from the town square.
Like the tree's completely dim.
Yeah, when you look back, the tree's completely bare. Not a single leaf left on it.
I think she could vaguely see with her dark vision and the previous illumination that Fazil looked like he was doing something, but I don't think she really saw what he was doing.
No one. Titan understands it due to the circles he runs in. Lilith, you didn't know what he was doing. Like, you didn't observe him enough to know to try to make a check.
Yeah.
Just
He was standing there and then he
and then he
vanished.
wasn't. Yeah. There's weird, Tafakari witchcraft going on. That's about as
Yeah,
much as you can assume.
Now the tree is dark.
Which honestly, like, overall, not like the best news,
Yeah, especially with the rumors of the spirit being in there is true, or was true. Anyway, that's Lilith's turn.
Yeah, good job. Just let me quickly run an altercation off on the side. Could be going worse. Okay. The family. We go back to the end of things. That's a poor choice of words. Lotus and Titan.
Well, Titan hears heavy footsteps like nothing he's ever heard before. Gonna move. Then, I mean, here he can sort of glimpse the thing. He's gonna move there.
Something very
there.
large and glistening bronze armor, about 12 feet tall.
Well, that's problematic. Titan's going to make a... I don't know. Some kind of check to see just how dangerous he thinks this thing is. Aside from, you know, it being a 12-foot bronze monster.
Yeah, that's fair. Arcana? Investigation? Whichever you prefer.
Once again, I prefer Arcana.
All right.
18?
18's good. I mean, you've studying at Mythlight, you've seen several various golem projects. To put it simply, there is a certain nature to armored or artificial like, you know, golem life, that there is a look. Things that are not harmful or simple to destroy typically are meant for simple tasks, are designed to look as such. This is a machine clearly made to go to war. It is heavily armored. It has these huge gauntlets that have multiple bronze plates layered across its center head and legs are all heavily armored. It can slam its fist in front of it and create a large shield based off of the overall diameter of the plates on its forearms. It looks dangerous. You think toe to toe this would be ill-advised?
Figured, but you always gotta make sure.
Yep.
Titan deflates, like visibly just loses all the bravado that he's ever had, and looks at Lotus, looks at Galen, and says, that thing, everyone up here is dead. If that thing is marching through, we've got to run. We've got to run. And just gonna grab Lotus's arm.
Yeah. She looks at you. It's just so tense. She doesn't need to talk. You guys can exchange so much just by looking at each other. She doesn't need to say that she agrees, because as you go to reach for her arm, she's already turning and you're moving in unison.
Hey. That's 15 from Titan, so we go 20, 25, 30. Grabbing Galen too. It's like, I'm sorry, kid.
We can't just leave them there. We don't know who could still be in their homes. Just because it's here doesn't mean they've managed to break into the houses yet. We can't just leave them, can we?
Titan has, like, tears in his eyes. There's, something we learn as doctors. You save the people that can be saved first. We need to worry about the people who are fleeing. We need to worry about the people who are out. That thing is war. You'll just die here, Galen. And, he's gonna pull Galen along.
Yep. Galen has pretty much like all of his bravado, like just like similar to Titan. Like his eyes are desperate and pleading. There are tears just running down his cheeks. He's overwhelmed, but it's so hard for him to accept that the answer is just go. He's kind of stunned. So just by you dragging him, he just moves.
Okay. Well, we're going another 60 feet. Gets this here-ish.
Okay. With Titan and Lotus and Galen running south, you see in the distance a bronze flare rocket into the sky. It explodes in the shape of a dragon with its wings furled outwards. There's a moment where you watch as it dissipates, and then all the sparks that were released swirl together, breaking open a portal of bronze, or of copper, sparks flying, and you watch as a dragon of copper scales, quite large in its size, breaks through. It takes flight, quickly trying to survey the scenario that's unfolding before it. And within seconds of its appearance, you watch it as it is bombarded from multiple different directions by these arcane blue lances of energy, like they were waiting for something like this to happen. And it is quickly assailed, and you begin watching it as it rapidly takes flight in the opposite direction, away from the village. Corona.
She probably sees that happen.
Oh,
and
yeah, everyone does.
I think her heart sinks a little bit. But there's nothing that she can really do about it besides curse under her breath for now. I guess, you know what, just to maybe switch things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Hey, no
Is
shame
it
in doing your
possible?
job.
Is it possible to look over the other side from the watchtower,
Like over
towards
the
the
wall?
outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. I guess she'd probably just want to make sure that the actual wall, like the vicinity that she can see, seems safe enough for anyone else that might be coming this way.
Make a perception check.
Sure. There it is. 5.
I really hate like saying this in responses to rolls like this, but it's like, yeah, it looks fine.
Everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, the better way to put it, there are no observable threats that you can see. There seems to be nothing encroaching from either side that you can articulate through the darkness. You don't hear anything in that direction, other than, you know, you're seeing the occasional kind of flicker of a shadow running down the hill towards the lake, which are you know, the villagers that are in flight.
Okay. Well, I think in this case she's going to just stay alert. Her second action will just be to ready an action for any hostiles, and that's it.
Okay. Lilith, Adi, Albrecht family, Balman.
We're still running.
Yep.
Take another shot.
Yep, that's because this thing's running at you.
A little bit lower. 11.
11 misses. You're getting pretty used to their movements, especially how rapidly they kind of skitter along the ground. It is because you have damaged it that makes its pattern a little less predictable, and so the quarrel just kind of bounces underneath one of its still good legs and off of the cobbles. It is going to reach you. It's going to attempt to zap you. It is going to zap you. For 4 points of lightning damage.
Ouch. Okay, well, we had a good run.
Time to get out of here.
Yeah, she hit this thing previously, right?
Yeah, it's weak. It's clearly damaged.
She's going to hope that she damaged it enough like the other one where it's slower than her, and she's going to disengage.
Wise choice.
But that would be her movement for now, I believe.
Okay. Corona, you see a large gaggle of people clambering into view. The sounds of fighting are getting closer to the southern wall.
Yeah, I think she might not always engage with the family, but I mean, we all recognize each other.
Yeah, small town.
Yeah. She just because I need the refresher myself. Does it look like the family or enough of them look armed?
Out of Audie's family, I actually believe the only person armed here is Isabel, the mother.
The mother, okay.
Yeah, she has a crossbow that she's hefting around, unless you include the wooden sword that the youngest is carrying.
Okay.
Yeah, Audie would have like weapons with her, but not like at the ready or even close to reachable.
Okay. Yeah, Corona would probably peek over and she I guess she'd probably ask because she has to have her vision adjust. Y'all need any weapons or nah, hold on. I see you're ready, Melody. You guys got everything under control?
I don't know if you could hear her from where you are, but she just kind of indicates behind him. There's more back there.
I think Corona nods at that. She knows. I think we know each other's quirks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think body language enough for just you to see Melody sort of turn and gesture in a direction is enough for you at the question you posed to go,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is it actually my turn? That's probably a good question to ask.
Lilith, Audie, Albrecht family.
Oh, okay.
Then the end is we're going to Titan and Lotus. Nah, yeah.
Gotcha.
I was
Okay,
just
so it's
pointing
not
out
my
that you
turn yet.
noticed them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of Titan, Lotus, and Galen.
And then it looks like Corona is going to probably be making her way downstairs once it's her turn to help.
Okay, Ben.
I mean, Galen's the only one there to witness it, but when that bronze dragon rips through the portal and flies out towards their enemies, it's not hope or excitement or even awe on Titan's face. It's just a look of envy. They are going to continue to run south.
This is weirdly the one thing Galen's going to notice as he is just watching only Titan, because again, he's kind of like dazed and struck by the scenario. But a casual insight check pass from him was a natural 20, so I think he just saw a little.
There he goes.
Like it was the only thing he noticed in his whole reverie.
And all that's going on, Galen knows Titan's secret.
Now he has to die.
That was the dash. Yeah. Oh no, guys, Galen fell and got killed.
Oh.
Why is he covered in ice? Don't worry about it.
Before you make your second dash, because I know you're pretty actively moving, roll a perception check for me.
Yep. Oh. I got so used to my privileged ways. That's a nat 1.
Oh.
Oh,
So Titan doesn't notice, but Titan does notice Lotus and Galen both cast a look over their shoulder. As they both collectively hear what sounds like peoples being attacked from pretty much exactly where you left from.
Oh, that's so hard.
Lotus looks to you, Titan. They're close. What do you think we should do? We might be able to provide a distraction.
Titan grits his teeth. And says, if they're close enough to hear, they might be close enough to save. But if we see it, and it's not safe, we run.
Our safety first.
He just shakes his head. Yours. Your safety first.
Yeah, everyone's gonna follow. You know,
Dashing back.
Yeah, but yeah, you know roughly where it's happening is right around here-ish. There's an automaton on the road, but the fight is just out of your vision. But now that you've closed this distance, you can hear an altercation and multiple voices, including those of some young, in great distress.
And just really quickly, he's gonna say to Galen, you focus on that one on the road. Lotus and I'll go further up.
He kind of snaps to his senses as you just sort of literally just tell him to go get it, and he hefts up this smith's hammer and just gives you a nod.
Attaboy. Save who you can.
Okay. Roz.
I want to come this way
Mm-hmm.
because that's 2 dashes. I saw enemies over here. So Roz is being bad.
Yeah, you see one of the village's hunters, Viren. He's over here with his longbow and his 2 kids, who are in their early teens. They're both armed with one's with a cast iron frying pan. The other one's got a short sword. And they're hiding. They're hunkered behind Viren, literally kind of just like protecting his back to make sure nothing sneaks up behind him. And you see Viren knocking and volleying arrows towards the west.
Come on, this way's clear.
He'll cast a look over his shoulder, look to his kids, and just give them the head nod to go to you. I can't go anywhere yet. Modred and his family is under attack. But take my kids and get out of here, Roz.
Everyone keeps telling me to get out of here.
Well, it's Roz's turn.
That's the whole turn.
Lilith, Valman, Ulbricht, etc.
There's light over there.
There is light.
It looks like Corona's over there too.
Actually, I've got really bad news for you, Lilith. It has just enough move speed to get up to you first.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, they're actually quite fast. Hobbling them makes them as quick as Valman. The good news is it is been devastated enough that it comes at you with a total of 4 for its prod. You realize it goes to make a lunge with its prod, but it's missing the one leg it would have needed to stabilize itself, and the prod just goes straight into the ground.
All right. Well, disengaging and then dashing.
Good choice.
I think. We'll disengage and then we'll move the regular move, and then we'll ready an action for when we can see it again.
Okay.
Pretty sure between her and whoever's up there on the barricade, she's pretty sure that's Corona, but could be anyone. She's short.
Isn't everybody in this village?
Short people, tall
no.
trees.
The Dragon Eye are noted example or exceptions. Hang on, just resolving conflicts elsewhere, which are going surprisingly well for now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. The Great Wall of Fire in the distance dissipates.
That's less good to hear.
And the gates turn dark. A loud splintering of wood can be heard all throughout the village.
Oh, it was really ominous watching those torches go dark.
It's been really fun doing that. Raz, family, I think I skipped Corona, so Corona?
I don't think so.
Well-
I think I might be just coming up.
Alright, we're fine, then it's your turn now.
Okay, well, just gonna hear running coming up, and just if he's getting ready and thinking about grabbing like a quarterstaff or something, you're gonna peek on over, see that it's Lilith coming in, and she's going to switch her plan. She's not gonna go down. She's gonna keep her post here, but she's let's see, is Lilith visibly injured?
I mean, that did half her health, so yeah, I'd say she's
Okay.
visibly singed.
Yeah, somewhere it's
okay.
black charred clothes. Maybe a slight
Frizzy
like,
hair.
yeah, probably like a slight favoring to one side.
Okay.
She definitely has a crossbow levied in this direction.
In that direction, yeah. Okay. Corona is going to do much of the same. She's going to save the words for later because you're poised to shoot, so she's not going to distract you or herself. Well, ready to shoot. Kind of feel bad eating the potion now, but that's okay. I think that's gonna be it. I don't know if she can do anything else with her second action, so we'll call
Okay.
it there.
Okay. Standing around and waiting.
Yep.
Alright, well, back over to the major drama. Lotus, Titan, Galen. Galen's just gonna follow your advice, and he's just gonna get in there. He's gonna swing with a smith's hammer, and he's going to miss initially. He's gonna try a second time, as this thing is kind of jumping from side to side, the prod crackling, ready to strike him, and he's going to attempt to hit it again. it does manage to miss him with the prod, which is good.
It is good.
And he manages to bring the hammer down onto the automaton here, and pretty badly damage it, like savagely crumples on the front half of it, where it looks like he's blinded it. But it still seems to be operational, but barely. So it looks like it looks like you think Galen could probably handle it.
Okay. Then 30, 35, 40. What am I seeing?
So, you see this, this war golem, and you see Leander, the town's cobbler, and her family, and her partner. She has 4 kids, and her wife, and the kids are kind of scattered off to the west, closer to the house, where they've kind of huddled up against the edge of it. And it looks like Leander and her wife are currently trying to distract it so the kids can go. But it seems like a lot of them are pretty frightened, and they're not using the opportunity to flee.
Then so that's Titan's dash. And he's gonna call out to Leander and say, "Get your family out of here!" And he's going to breath weapon this golem.
Yeah.
Get 15-foot cone, which should hit it. It needs to make a con save, which I'm sure it can.
It's not bad, Adam.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. It did decently. What is the DC it's got to beat?
It's... Hold on. Let me double check here. Calculate it with 8 plus con mod plus proficiency bonus.
12?
So 8, 12. Yeah. It's got to be the 12.
So
not super high.
Yeah, it is going to succeed.
Okay. Then it would have taken full breath weapon damage.
Wow.
It's going to take half that, so it'll take 6 cold damage.
And it's still pretty good.
Titan.
All right.
Hopefully good enough to draw its attention so the others could get away.
Yeah, Titan, you get up close. You warn to Leander and her wife to retreat with her kids. You kind of just whelm up this cold energy from within, and it's a bit more subtle given the energy would match so well with your general exterior scale color that the gathering of it is a bit more subtle than other dragons. But then you unleash this cone, and you watch as the frost ripples and rapidly grows across the armor of this golem. But then it immediately sort of turns, and upon the turn, with several micro movements, you watch as all the frost kind of breaks off of its exterior, and you have earned its attention.
Having earned its attention, Titan's going to spend the rest of his movement getting here, up on top of the hill, trying to draw it away.
Yeah. Lotus is going to go take that high ground before you'd gotten up there originally. She would have gotten to that point, and she is going to chuck her spear at it. Natural 18.
Yeah, go Lotus.
For 6 piercing. She manages to basically catch it in between a joint of its arm and its chest armor, which honestly is a really impressive throw. And you watch as that arm kind of like partially malfunctions. Like it doesn't seem like it can move with the spear stuck in its joint. So it seems as if it has been weakened a bit.
Good.
Yeah.
Still not keen to stand and fight it, but...
Yep. Mm-hmm. Leander and her wife are going to take that opportunity, and they're going to begin skirting westwardly, where the kids were hunkered on the house. You kind of watch both of them turn and sweep around. and begin ushering them through this small alleyway between the house and the cliff.
Okay. Can't control where they go or what happens to them from here, but we bought them a chance.
You did. That matters. That counts for something. Okay. Drama elsewhere. That's Roz. Where? There you are.
I'm gonna take Viren's kids, and we're gonna run. And it absolutely breaks my heart to do it, because I want to run back in and fight and save and be the hero. And I also just watched the North Gate fall. Not literally, but it's lost. So I take the kids. And I get that far. And that's it.
Okay.
Running full tilt toward the gate.
Okay. All right. Corona. No, Albrecht. Just to say, that thing gets a bit closer.
I will take my shot.
By all means,
15 total.
that will hit.
Nice.
Rolled my d8 right under my dice tray.
Mhm.
6 damage. And
Yeah.
crossbows doing work.
Gonna destroy that whole archer motif. You're gonna become a crossbow user. Just you
No,
wait.
I don't want to have to be crossbow expert.
But yeah, you see it struggling to get through the higher grass on the southern side of the village. And as it struggles, you catch it square center mass. It flips back overwards onto its back, and it ceases moving.
Kind of let out a breath and just call out, I got it. That's all the ones that I saw. And she's gonna make her way over there.
Uh,
Spot
shot.
Ross.
Yeah, the Albrecht family is going to get outside. The rest of the kids are going to just continue going along. Isabel's going to turn around and extend her hand out to you, Melody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take it, you and your family are all going to run off together.
And Audie will kind of like look back at Lilith and just like give her a wave, like, come on.
I guess she does have that other action. She sees Roz though. So just to make sure she's going to like move here and be ready.
Yep.
She feels pretty safe at the moment.
Melody, you're officially off the map.
Okay.
That was kind of the gesture of taking your mother's hand. Is that
Yeah.
you all are now running down the hill past Moondrop Lake, where there's supposed to be, the escape route.
Yeah. If she sees like Lilith like behind, she'll drop Zine and be like, run, and and like might go back for her, but you'd be hard pressed to get her back within the gates.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have weapons, she knows she can't fight right now. So
Yep. Okay. Yep. Corona.
I think she'll be keeping watch, and then she sees Lilith stop, and she's going to turn to her and shout, "What is it, Lilith? Talk to me. What do you see?"
Roz is coming around the corner. I'm just gonna make sure she's all right.
Okay. Corona does not respond to that, but she does acknowledge it. She is going to continue keeping watch, but she will actually follow up and ask, "Was there anyone else tailing you?"
No, there were 3, but I managed to get them.
Heard. So yeah, she'll just keep watch on this northwestern end while it's got the rest covered.
Okay. All right. Most of the Ulbricht family out. Lilith close to the exit. Roz close. Again, we're going back over towards the drama. Titan and Lotus.
Titan's going to wait a breath or two to make sure the golem is coming after him instead of chasing families.
It is. So much so, it immediately clambers up like onto the cliff. It gets right up to you.
Okay.
It is going to attempt to strike you with its one good arm.
All right.
Ooh, really good news. I rolled a natural 3.
Woo.
It's
Still
going to
might hit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's going to bring down its huge armored arm in an attempt to smash you. But your natural instincts for this, even if you haven't done any actual fighting like this in a while, still kick in. You manage to sidestep it, sort of just smashing into the ground next to you. Galen, in the meantime, does manage to finish off the other automaton that he was struggling with. But that leaves you and Lotus against this thing.
Titan is going to give Lotus a little push and grab Galen. We're running. Run! And he's going to have to disengage, which means he can only go 30 for the first one.
Yep.
And then for the next dash, he'll be going 60, but I mean, I assume if we get 2, Automaton gets 2.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That being said, given that, it's dashing, well, you're dashing, that was your first move into, so you'd be dashing after. So yeah, it will be able to clamber up after you, and attempt another rend attack. Man, I'm not rolling great with this. It's a 10 total.
That doesn't hit.
Yeah.
My 1 point of dexterity.
Yeah.
Fist fights or something. Titan knows he can do this.
You were ready for it. Even while disengaging and being conservative, you're still watching its movements. It doesn't have the sort of desperate ingenuity that a pit fighter or a brawler would have. It's mechanical and pretty obvious and easy to read. So it's you manage to sidestep that attack and then sprint off down the road.
Hooray!
Really hate to keep doing this to you, though. Can you make another perception check?
Yeah. Oh, not the time for them. An 18.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe more with my perception. A 19.
So yeah, as you're just making the step to run away from it, so just in case you decide to change your mind, you don't dash away. So pretty much right when you're next to it, as you jump and sidestep the attack, and you're readying to follow through on your decided plan of survival, you hear in the distance, "You son of a bitch, you get over here!" And you're clicking. No, take the kids, run, go to the west, you'll be fine. Fizziel's probably at the tree. Ding, 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 ding. And the kind of scrappy attitude, it certainly sounds like Jorbis, the town smith. Just
Jorvis.
Just fighting like a bat out of hell.
He can't do it. Titan can't do it.
Okay.
He can't save everybody.
Yep.
If he runs off, there's a chance this golem follows Lotus and Galen instead of him. He's gotta keep going.
Okay.
Oh, heartbreaking. He would have been a good friend too.
I'm not rolling dice to decide who lives or who dies. Don't worry. Okay. All right, you guys have made it to that position. Roz. Got Viren's kids.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just head south to the lake, all right?
They look back the way you guys came from, clearly looking to see if their father is still like behind them. And you could see that they're hesitating.
Your dad'll be fine, but he's not going anywhere if he thinks you're in danger.
Make a persuasion check.
Ugh, 6.
Yeah, they don't. You can tell they know it makes sense to run, but they don't want to leave their dad behind.
Fine. Then I'm going to shove one of them toward the gate.
Athletics check. Do you bully the older or the younger one? There's a 2-year difference. One's 13, one's 11.
The 13-year-old. Now, that is 20, not nat.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, you just shove him into the gravel and dirt of the path alongside Fazil's house.
I'm just gonna menace over him for a second. Go.
He looks up, hurt, like not physically, emotionally. His younger brother gets down, scoops him up by the elbow, and they kind of totter out.
All right.
Going anywhere else?
I'm gonna stand here next to Lilith until the last moment.
Okay. Valman, Lilith. The Ulrich family is long gone. Valman, shortly thereafter, follows them. That man, that gnome, under no circumstance or point in time, ever ceased full-bore sprinting. He was cursing his short legs the entire way.
Really could have used a super mushroom. I mean, Lilith is gonna look at Roz and it's like, should we go now?
I really hate that question.
She is going to look up at Corona and just say, I think we need to get going. She's going to link her arm with Roz's and try to pull her along.
Fine.
Chrono glances over as the two of them leave, just to see how certain they seem, because it's chaos.
It is.
Uncertain, but also, you know, Lilith just saw a giant robot thing.
Yep.
Because it's important. So the question is, do you all stay within the boundaries of the map, aka you're hovering outside the gate, or do you leave?
It's time to go.
Yeah, I think it's time to go. If anything, Lilith reasons that we just had a bunch of people who can't really defend themselves out there. If anything happens out there, they need somebody.
Okay. Corona?
There's no indication of what might be happening on the west side, right?
I mean, make a perception check, but I have information I'll willingly give to you.
Okay.
Let's see if you can't gather more.
Let's see. Oh man, so close to the net 20.
That's still not bad. 15 is good enough. I mean, you immediately, because like I said, the palisade walls are, quite high. You can immediately tell, off in the distance, there is no obvious kerfuffle of any kind transpiring. From your position, you can very clearly tell it looks like the attack is coming in from the northeast. The northern gate has been destroyed. You can tell there's a lot more fighting in the eastern side of town. And by comparison to the western side, that is very quiet. Other than the handful of the small automatons that seem to have infiltrated from this side, nothing else seems to be going on out in west. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you can't definitively see anyone or anything going on that side, but the information you can gather is the bulk of the threat is not coming in that direction. So that does increase the likelihood that people in that direction are much safer.
Okay. I'm gonna roll. If I roll a 1, she is going to split and go westward. If I roll a 2, then she'll pray to all the gods that her family's already evacuated.
Okay.
And head southward with everyone.
Roll that dice.
Okay. We're heading south with everyone.
Okay. That is the evacuation plan. It's good to follow it.
She'll hold on to the automaton crab.
Yep.
On her waist.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it's just sort of clanking into your hip occasionally. Okay. And in which case, we have but one last group that has not yet made it to the gates. Titan, Lotus, Galen. It's just a
running.
Full bore sprint.
Yeah. Titan has saved who he could. People in the village are dying. It's tearing them apart. But he's got to get who he can out of here.
Okay. Everyone else has kind of already exited their scenes, so we're just gonna keep moving Titan and Lotus and Galen along. I am also moving numerous other tokens.
Oh, I'm sure you have a lot to do.
I'm great at juggling. You all kind of take an ungracious leap off of the cliffside. But you continue to run. It's worth mentioning, when you guys get in the front of Fazil's cabin, you see the front doors left open. Which you saw Fazil kind of, you know where he went, but he wasn't at home. And he is not the type to leave his front door open. So you do see that and you think that's a little strange.
Titan's just yelling as he goes by. He's knocking and yelling. Get out! Anybody in there? Run! Flee the village! But he can't really do anything else.
Well, then a lot of you will make it up over here. As we're sort of like getting to the edge of the map there, Corona, Lilith, and Roz, all three of you, make a perception check for me. Audie 2. This is kind of at a different point in time, but I just kind of want to see what you all noticed.
14?
Okay.
Perception, you say?
Perception.
19.
19, wow.
11.
Oh, nice.
And the Corona with the 18. Funnily enough, Lilith is the only one that doesn't notice. But Audie, Corona, and even Roz, as you guys are making your way past the gate that is attached to Fazil's cabin, onto the other side, you see his cellar hatch was left ajar. Like there's the pull chain to open it got stuck underneath, as if someone was hastily exiting, and it's just propped open a little, like someone went into a cellar. Titan, Lotus, and Galen, you guys are basically rounding the corner at this point. Gaggle Families is also coming in from the west.
Hey, Viren made it.
That man destroyed so many automatons. He rolled so high on his damage dice, it worked out like crazy.
PC levels.
Basically, yeah. Because these guys don't have like huge to hit modifiers. Because, like I said, they're kind of like what your character sheets are right now, which, are a bit on the lower end of weakened, but they're good enough at their jobs. He was doing well. He single-handedly saved Modred's whole family.
Oh, wow.
Good work, Viren.
Does Corona, Roz, or Adi, prior to Adi's exit, do any of you guys act on the odd cellar information?
I don't think
Roz does
Audie
not.
would.
Okay.
She's carrying Zine.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable. Okay, so Adi did just leave as intended.
I think Corona will, because she has a duty to make sure that everyone gets out, and maybe, I don't know, maybe someone is stuck down there or something.
Okay.
So Corona will. She'll also notify Roz and Lilith as much as she breaks off to go and do that. So just to let them know that she's going to check the cellar real quick, but yeah. Otherwise, she's not going to ask them to follow her or anything.
Okay.
I think Audie would tell people, like, when she gets to the lake or something, be like, if you're missing someone, maybe they're in there, but that's it.
Okay. Corona, why don't you go take a walk on over to the cellar?
Okay.
It is right over hither.
Yep. Oh, right over there. I see.
Yeah.
Let me close my sheet so it's not blocking out my screen. There we go. Okay.
And now if you step one more spot northward, there you go.
Ooh. Okay.
So you open up the cellar. Let's give you a little bit of. Did you take a torch with you? I feel like given how dark it is.
It would probably help, yeah.
Yeah.
If we're leaving town for good.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not raising my hand. Acknowledge though.
Yes, CJ.
There we go. I was trying to give Corona a torch. Physial's basement is modest. Much smaller than what became the standard basement build for a lot of the houses here in Greenwood. However, there's two things worth noting. One, he has a small little garden of nether layer plants that are growing right here. However, you can tell that it looked like someone harvested them in a hurry. Because most of them it just looks like someone ransacked his poor little garden bed. But there's also a chest over here that looks like it had a green jewel affixed to the top of it, but it looks like it was shattered. And the jar, no, not the jar, the chest, it has its lid left open. And you can tell there's some things inside of it.
Okay. I think Corona's going to just quickly call out, if anyone's hiding in here, you best step out now. It's time to leave the village. And she'll take a step while, being cautious about something else sneaking in here.
Make a perception check.
Sure. Nine.
You don't notice anything until you feel somebody elbow past you in a run. You don't see anything though.
Okay. Did I get the feeling that they might have been moving past me up the stairs?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So much to the effect you can hear the soles of their shoes run up the steps.
Oh, okay. I think people that are in the vicinity would probably hear Corona bark like a hey, you know. But she does not. She can't catch what she can't see.
Yeah.
So she's basically probably going to stay there for a couple seconds, make sure that's the only thing. Nothing was stolen off her person. She's not hurt.
That's news you can tell.
And yep. And she doesn't know what to make about of the plants because she was never one to ask about that. Maybe. But I guess there is a curiosity with the chest. That might be something important.
Do you want to go take a look at it real quick?
Real quick, yeah.
So if you open up the chest, because like I said, it's been left open basically. You can tell someone rummaged through it pretty quickly, so you know some things are missing. But there are some things that have been left here, which is you notice there is a set of hardened gray leather armor and a set of matching boots. And likewise, there is a journal here, wrapped in very faded brown leather. If you want, you can make a history check to identify the armor, if you want to take that kind of time.
How much time are we talking? Like a minute?
You got to stop and muse over it. Yeah.
Okay. Let me roll.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say that she probably doesn't. She might be more concerned about whatever just brushed past her.
Okay.
And probably leave the stuff there behind.
Okay.
To be honest. And head on back out.
Okay. Titan, Lotus, and Galen, if you are so inclined, you can proceed to leave the map. Modred's family and Viren, who have come running up, panting, sweating, burn marks and scars on them, will likewise pass through the gate and make their way south.
I mean, Titan would be hesitant, but he would ultimately push everybody onwards. I mean, unless Roz, Lilith, and Crota are just, like, sitting there, then you'd be like, come on, guys. Greenwood's lost, we gotta go.
I think they exited. At least Lilith and Roz did. Lilith slowed a little bit when Corona, like, suddenly veered off to the cellar, but...
She come jogging out a couple seconds later.
All right,
yeah.
Then, yeah.
She try and catch up with the group, and as soon as she does, she's going to just ask, any of you guys see someone run by or feel someone run by? Because I bumped into someone in that cellar, someone or something.
Did we see anything?
Yeah, you and Roz both can make perception checks if you'd like. See what information I can feed you.
15.
19.
All right. Most importantly, neither of you saw anything. However, what you did observe, Roz, you heard someone run up, because it's stone steps, so souls on stone steps make noise. You heard someone run up and out, and then you and Lilith both collectively heard and saw someone, like, rapidly descending the section of the hill that isn't the well-developed trail. So you saw some rocks tumble, grass kind of shoot up underneath someone's heels as they were fleeing. But there was no physical appearance for you to observe.
Rowan?
Wait, is your sister invisible?
You definitely don't get a response.
I think my sister's invisible right now.
Honestly, good for her. And Lilith keeps running.
Okay.
What kind of business does she have stealing people's plants?
I don't know. She's 13. She has weird interests.
So Lilith, Roz, and Corona, is this your official exit?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, yeah, Modred's family and Viren will follow in after you, to which Lotus, Titan, and Galen will be, as far as you're aware, the last out. I guess the most important question is, does Titan or Lotus or Galen, for any weird reason, do any of you stay behind at the gate any longer? Or how long, if you do?
I would certainly say that Titan's hesitation to leave would last a turn or two.
Okay. That's pretty easy to resolve, because after a turn or two, you don't see anyone else.
Okay. Then he is
Actually, no.
resigned to the fate of his beloved village.
I did lie through my teeth, if only because, again, I'm spinning so many plates. Around the time you guys got to the gate, and then about 12 seconds later, right when Corona, Lilith, and Roz were like halfway down the trail, Leander, her wife, and her family come running up.
It was not a wasted effort.
Yes.
Titan will at least wait for them to get out, and then he'll go.
Yeah, and they run out collectively. Okay.
With a heavy heart.
And then
he also knows that if his friend and his family survived the blacksmith, then they should be soon after, but he just can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
Yeah, like I said, if you take the 2 turns from that point, no one else shows up.
Yeah.
And as you all make it to the edges of the village, standing at the gateway, sprawl open, looking backwards towards the village, the town of Greenwood, you watch in its darkness, you hear the sounds, loud and mechanical, distant destruction of trees and homes and stone. And while you can't see it, you know there is a finality to witnessing this. As you take your last look at Greenwood before descending down the hill towards Moondrop Lake, where there is a small floating 3-foot, vaguely cat-like creature that looks to be made of water, who you were all quite familiar with if you visited the lake even once. Looney, the water spirit of Moondrop Lake, who has been using these little water bubbles to escort people safely around the edge of the lake through the more difficult and root-filled areas to make sure you can continue running south. They'll relay this plan that Fazil told to Looney a long time ago, that if it were ever to happen, Looney was to guide as many people as far downstream as Moondrop Lake allowed for, to try to guide you onto the right path into the Emerald Boughs, to run until you were safe. That somewhere deeper in the forest you would eventually come across a spirit that would know the Greenkeeper, which is the mother spirit of the Emerald Boughs, one of, in the last 60 years since the Fae have descended onto Eldarth, one of the most powerful spirits that have been acknowledged, that oversees this enormous continent-wide forest that you've lived so close to this entire time. And hopefully you can find some shelter and safety there. But we'll see how that goes next week, as we have finished Escape from Greenwood.
We all survived, guys.
Good job, everybody.
Saved a couple of people.
Yeah. Are there, my question, are there other exits? As in, like, do we know that there are, like, eastern, western gates? We just didn't...
There are 3 entrances in and out of the palisade wall. The north gate, the one that everyone pretty much comes through. The southern gate that the villagers know about. In the eastern gate that the villagers know about, but most of the time don't use, because it is the hidden gate that takes you to the Craftsman's Plateau, where the smiths and tanners and leather workers went to go ply their trades so that way smoke and tannery chemicals wouldn't pollute the air and the nice atmosphere of Greenwood.
So there's some chance for some people.
There are chances. However, not to spoil that, when Galen came in through that gate, he did announce to Roz and Rorkin that it was pretty bad out there.
Doesn't mean anything.
And that is also the direction in which the Copper Dragon that Rorkin managed to summon got bombarded by arcane missiles. So, take that for what you will.
Yeah, nothing quite as demoralizing as seeing a dragon show up to help your town and then immediately fleeing before it even uses its breath attack.
Well,
I've been going for help. Odie's an optimistic nibbit.
That's you said
And I'll stick to it.
So is Titan now officially.
Yeah.
Good ending for Titan.
Honestly, just between you and everybody else, in terms of tokened NPCs I had in the village that have representative families attached to them, there are 3 NPCs that have families that have not made it out of the village yet. And there is the group of singles from the share house that includes Audie's older brother Aladad that they were leading a group to go usher people out. They are currently still fighting somewhere in the village. And of course, whatever the fate of Asmus was as well. Along with...
Which I'm guessing you're still rolling for, and we'll find out in, episode 25 or 50.
I'm going to do all the rolls between this week and next week, so I will know what happens to all these people by then. I'm just saying, if you guys can see the rest of the map, it looks a little rough.
We didn't even see the North Gate.
No, it's really bad there. You know how, Titan was like, oh, this one golem, it's really bad for us over here. Just put it this way, there's more than one in a lot of other locations. Especially through the battered and broken gate. Anyway, hey.
Yes.
You all survived. Good job.
Yay!
That is the end of session 2. And you did it. It was in the title. You escaped from Greenwood. Good job.
Yay.
Yay!
So yeah, I guess I'll call these the prologue sessions to sort of establish a couple of moving pieces based off of choices and things you guys influenced and did. Which again, by and large, way more successful than I thought it was going to be. So this is good. And this will help establish when we move on to, the first chapter, if you will, what the next area where people and refugees are going to gather, who's there, and services you have to offer, and skills that are available to you, and things of that nature. So, yeah. And maybe one day we'll revisit this huge map that I spent hours upon hours working on. But not anymore. Not right now. Not for a while. Probably in 40 some odd sessions, maybe. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. Yeah. That's it. I'm talking to fill space, I guess. I guess at that point, everybody survived. Good job. I know this has been said already. A lot of the townspeople have survived. Also good. If it makes all of you feel better, there really wasn't a circumstance in which Fazil didn't sacrifice himself to buy the town time. Unless everyone decided to stand their ground and fight, in which case, death was almost certainly going to come for somebody. Mm-hmm. But that being said, not everything is set in stone. There are fights off screen that I will be rolling for, including things with Fazil and Rorkin's partner Bryn Rasa, to see how certain things fell out and certain decisions made by other NPCs. So you might see them again in the future, and you might not. That's half the fun. We don't know. But good job. Clap, 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 clap. Pat yourselves on the back. And we get into the official meat of the campaign starting next session. So, next Wednesday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will have session 3, into the Emerald Boughs. And we will see you then. Thank you for those of you that have been here and watching. We appreciate it. And you'll be seeing more streams soon, I promise. Probably tomorrow and Friday even. And until then, like some of these players, make good choices. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next week,
Bye-bye.
chat. Bye.